you can't patent something that's already been invented. But if it was invented by an alien, they don't fall under human law. So maybe you can't patent something, so maybe all these patents that Lockheed maybe has are in violation.
And that is a very good point indeed. Garry Nolan, guys, very smart individual, a bit too cocky, maybe too big of an ego, but he does have a lot of qualifications. He does study a lot of NHI material, supposedly. He can't come out and say that, but he was strongly referring to it in the James Fox documentary. So yeah, he's a notable figure. He's spoken about by Diana Pasolka. They went with Tim Taylor to the desert, to their gift site, right? And yeah, so there's a lot of backstory. That's how it's connected to Chris Bledsoe and all these things, right? So we're going to be checking it out. We're going to be talking about a few points. Guys, we're uploading every day. Subscribe, notifications on. Share this video. This helps the absolute most. Like and comment, appreciate it. And without further ado, get your snacks, get your popcorn, because today is gonna be a gift. Okay, so you're gonna have to watch till the end to see the best parts. As always, enjoy.
So I want to switch topics a little bit into law and ethics and the standards of evidence that are applied there. Now, you know, this is not a courtroom. But courtroom evidence is very different than scientific evidence, is very different than your kind of evidence. But let's assume that there is some level of evidence or data there. How will you think this change the legal frameworks of, I mean, for instance, can you be accused of murdering an alien under human law, right? Can you patent alien technology? Because, you know, the premise of patents is that you can't patent something that's already been invented. But if it was invented by an alien, they don't fall under human law. So maybe you can't patent something, so maybe all these patents that Lockheed maybe has are in violation. Mm-hmm. So what is the standard of evidence you think that we need to talk to our legal friends, lawyers and or professors, that say, hey, maybe it's time to start thinking about this, even if it's just a thought exercise?
I definitely agree. Thinking about this, even as a thought exercise, you can only come to the conclusion that any technology made from NHI belongs to everyone, because it was pure luck, pure where you're born. You know, some companies do not have access to this, so there's a lot of legal situations you can imagine eventually arising if this were to reach the light, which it is. And yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say eventually. I don't know what time period this will look like, but people will have the conclusion, logically so, that some people can't monopolize this forever just because they were privy to this kind of classified shit, right? So yeah, what do you think about all this? Any legal experts that would like to voice something here?
Yeah, this is obviously a very complicated question. I think about this as where the intersection between the scientific standards of evidence and scientific methodologies and our legal frameworks becomes very critical, because often in legal disputes it comes down to definitions, right? Does this particular object or dispute center on a definition that is clear and cogent and can be applied in the particular case? And I think the most relevant definitions here are the ones that were put forward in the UAP Disclosure Act as sort of definitions of non-human intelligence, definitions of biological materials, the definition of technologies of unknown origin. You can read those painstaking definitions. I think that will be where the crux of how you can apply those in our practical legal system. Is there a loophole there? Like how exactly, when you get down to it, like do you try to describe these materials in a way that you can, bring it into the legal framework, right? You can actually say, like, we need you to register and or disclose all of those technologies of unknown origin. And is there a way they can weasel out of that, right? That's
Yeah.
like, I think, where the rubber meets the road.
I can tell you one thing, I think, like, they're definitely going to try and weasel out of every situation like this. And they're going to have the funds to stretch out this process, maybe by a lot of years, right? Because these individuals are ultra funded by this NHI technology. And yeah, they're probably funded to a ridiculous extent, and those funds will be used to protect themselves and their funds and their whole industry slash monopoly, right? So they're going to try and control the narrative. Maybe that's why the government is doing this, and it's actually the deep state is actually these private companies that do contracts with politicians, etc., right? So I don't know how deep this goes, Immaculate Constellation. We should hear back from Michael Schellenberger, that drama with Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, all this. Guys, subscribe notifications now. We're going to be covering all of it.
One of the funniest tweets I ever put out that had the most responses from outside of the community was this thing on patents, where immediately all these lawyers from outside the community came in with ways to get around it, of course. One of them is they have no standing. They have no legal standing, and especially around patents is, well, you can't be in violation of a patent if nobody files a lawsuit against you, so I doubt they're going to file a lawsuit in Delaware.